Check the fabrics he worn from. Sass in the flow, son. Get the documents from. Here we go. Knock, knock. Now me and my kid, now they got me on a plane, Madrid. Cats saying what's good. Documents, scheme on brick. One rig to retrieve, send pick. Back team and quiz. Hurrying, homie in the lobby, honey studying the lottie-dotty. Once a piece, so Hun's the chief. Bodyguard study charming. Fine spot to sneak, kid a weakness, I peeped it. Housekeeping, leaping, he's sleeping. Give a little piece then. Click, click, pick skips. Off to me, what did me? Hush, what me, Jimmy? List the white collar crimmy. Hope do the right thing with I bring Brits. Don't also keep a copy for me just in case trifling. Might get in trouble though. Hype nigga like the flow. Life of a double O. Now they got me like a top agent shogun. Watching me program. Like a hot nigga go from. Smash and explosion. Check the fabrics he worn from. Sass on the flow, son. Get the documents from. Here we go. Now they got me like a top agent shogun. Watching me program. Look a hot nigga go from. Smash and explosion. Check the fabrics he worn from. Sass on the flow, son. Yeah. Documents from. Here we go.
This, that. Alcohol at the back of your neck after a fresh cut, sharp and dressed up. Sway Valley dope boy grace. The 88 911 Porsche in the car chase. Hit the switch, drop oil and slide safe to home base. Go yard, place your bets. Subway series, Yankee Mets. Sticking up the game again. Yankee and the Englishman. Who the best storytellers? Keep it a Will Chamberlain. Gangster and a gentleman. Cameras and bow ties. Fragrances, linens are tie-dyed. Suave Monaco flow. Universal audience watches us. Green Burmese, lotus flower. Silky as tux. Connected like Clarence Avon. Respected like Stringer Bell and Barksdale Avon. It pulls at my heartstrings just to say I got a song by Ricky and Nas, Black Bonds.
Now they got me like a top agent. Yeah, slick. 008. 1964. Feel me? Now what's up, sis? What's the problem? Well, here's the file. Now they got me like a top agent shogun. Watching me program. Like a hot nigga go from. Smash and explosion. Check the fabrics he worn from. Sass on the flow, son. Get the documents from. Here we go. Now they got me like a top agent shogun. Watching me program. Look a hot nigga go from. Smash and explosion. Check the fabrics he worn from. Sass on the flow, son. Get the documents from. Here we go. Knock, knock. Now me and my kid, now they got me on a plane, Madrid. Cats saying what's good. Documents, scheme on brick. One rig to retrieve, send pick. Back team and quiz. Hurrying, homie in the lobby, honey studying the lottie-dotty. Once a piece, so Hun's the chief. Bodyguard study charming. Fine spot to sneak, kid a weakness, I peeped it. Housekeeping, leaping, he's sleeping. Give a little piece then. Click, click, pick skips. Off to me, what did me? Hush, what me, Jimmy? List the white collar crimmy. Hope do the right thing with I bring Brits. Don't also keep a copy for me just in case trifling. Might get in trouble though. Hype nigga like the flow. Life of a double O. Now they got me like a top agent shogun. Watching me program.
Coach.
Hi, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, what's up with you? Can you hear me? Coach. It's all right. He'll be back. Coach.
Hey, Ty. How you?
What's good, man? How are you?
The weather raining, man, so it's a big storm going, but all in all, I'm blessed to be here.
I think your internet is a little blurry too, but we'll rock with it. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-oh. Come on, man.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little blurry. You're a little blurry. But
All right, let me try to go to our gym real quick. Then I guess maybe it's the office. I have no idea.
that's cool. Got nothing but time.
All righty. Hello.
I got you.
All right, good, good, good. I'm just making sure. So I guess I had to go in the gym.
It's all good. That's what you need to be.
Oh, I'm always in here, man. It's a home away from home, man. I'm always in the gym.
Yeah, you good now. You good now.
Oh, all right,
Can you hear me
perfect,
okay?
perfect. Oh, I can hear you just fine.
All right, let's get to it, man.
Let's get
Tonight we
to it.
have with us Coach JaVon Summers, man. We're gonna talk a little Winston Salem. We're gonna talk a little Carver High. We're gonna talk a little Carver
Uh-oh.
High.
You done
We're
went
gonna
through
talk
the history book.
yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of things. So, man, what's going on, Coach?
Not much, man. Just happy that we just finished up our recruiting class. Pretty excited about what's going on here at SWU, and man, just ready for these guys to get on campus, man. So really, just working nonstop, relentlessly. Me and Coach Stice have really put together a pretty good roster this upcoming season.
And I'd be remiss. Obviously, we're going to talk some Southern Wesleyan University,
Oh
SWU,
yeah.
as Coach Summers just said, affectionately called them. But man, first of all, where did it all start for you? I would assume Winston Salem is the beginning for you.
Yeah, Winston-Salem. I'm born and raised there. I grew up playing basketball at Carver High School. That's where I graduated from high school. Played 4 years there, and took me a while to get in college, man. After Carver High School, I went to Shaw University, which is a historical black college university, and
Yeah.
things didn't go well there for me, and didn't do what I was supposed to do in the classroom, and had to go back home, man. Had to go back home, and from there I went to Carolina University. That's where I was a 4 year starter, and played my basketball there. That's also in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Um, and that's where it really started at, man. We did some things as a player when I was there. My senior year, we won the conference championship. That was the first time they did it in almost 22 years when I was there. So that was a big thing far as my playing career. Um, and then just that's where it started, right? And so far as coaching, um, I started my first 3 years at my alma mater at Carolina University.
And that's in the Conference Carolinas, right?
Carolina University, no. So when I was playing, it was in the National Christian College Athletic Association. So it
Okay.
was a very small school. It's equivalent to D3 NAIA type of basketball. Yeah.
Now, let me go back to Winston Salem a little bit. Obviously, Chris Paul is from Winston Salem as well, right?
Yes, sir. Chris Paul is from Winston-Salem. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of Josh Howard also.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
cousin. He's a former NBA All-Star that played for the Dallas Mavericks. And He was actually one of the first coaches I coached with at Carolina U. He was the head coach. I was the associate head coach there.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, he played with the Mavericks. Yeah, I remember. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I remember when he played for Wake Forest. But
Yep.
talk a little bit about because I've been up there, and most people don't realize, man, Wake Forest is a really small school, even though a lot of people know it. So talk a
Yeah.
little bit about growing up and what your aspirations were, kind of, I would assume, as a player in Winston Salem.
Yeah, I mean, watching all those great guys like Chris Paul, Josh, those was the guys I kind of looked up to when I was playing basketball, and I wanted to be like them. And my aspiration was just like any other high school kid is, man, I want to go to college, I want to play, I want to go to the pros right afterwards. Just pretty much had that all mapped out. That was my dream as a kid. So that was some of my goals and aspiration is, utilizing basketball to first get a degree and see if I can make it to the pros playing basketball.
Now we're going to get into your coaching now, and Coach Summers, Jay Summers. Now you're on the
Yeah,
Lost Letterman. Well, I'm
yeah.
going to ask you about your basketball career. Don't start lying because I got all the stats right in front of me. I got all the
Check my
stats right in
stats,
front of
man. Check my stats.
me. So what kind of player were you?
So as a player in college, I was
No, in high school, high school, high school.
high school. I
Yeah.
was one of our top scorers in high school. Me and
Okay.
Richard Daniels were
Yep.
our
I see
leading
Richard
scorers.
Daniels right
Yep, me and
here.
Richard Daniels was one of our leading scorers. He was the guy though. He was one of the guys on the team that pretty much led us. He was our point guard. I was more of a combo guard in high school.
Okay.
So I would say, but in high school I was averaging around 12 to 15 points a game. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, we did some things. It was the first time we went to the playoffs when I was in high school back in '09. Man, you got me dating myself a little bit, uh,
Okay.
but yeah,
No,
no,
no, no.
I mean,
I'm looking at your stats right here. I guess this is '07, so you must have been a sophomore during this time. Richard had
okay, my
both you and Richard had 12 points against Atkins. Y'all beat them
yeah,
by 12. Carver 63, Atkins 51. So okay, all right. I'm just checking, make sure you're
yeah,
consistent
yeah.
with your story.
Oh man, like the kids say, ain't no cap in my game, man. Ain't no cap in my game. But I can only tell the truth, man. So that's pretty much my high school career. It was okay. I went to pretty much a football high school, man. So they were known for football, and um, it was an honor for me to play with Richard and try to make some things happen at Carver.
Now, with that being said, you kind of alluded to the fact that you bounced around a little bit in college and you didn't have
Hmm.
the linear path, like, you go straight through it in 4 years or whatever. Do you think
Yeah.
that helped you? Even, do you think that kind of helped you as you went through that? And, so many times, basketball, you're going to have some challenges. Do you think you learned a lot from those challenges as opposed to having a more clear cut path?
Man, I went through it, man. I went through it. I try to, walk on at Shaw University. Things just didn't work out for me, right? And during that time, I try to wrap my identity in basketball, and just is just for everybody. Like, try not to wrap your identity in your sport, your job, or anything. Know who you are first, right? And that was something that I was battling as an 18, 19-year-old dude, just trying to figure my way out. Um, and yeah, man, it's just I always loved basketball. I didn't give up, but it took me some time. I was like the first old head when it come to college basketball because I was like a 20-year-old freshman when I finally played. Seriously, man, I finished at 24, so I was considered an old head in basketball, well, in college basketball. But that path, I had to figure things out and really. Um, Take hold to like my thought process and development as a young man because I could have went this way and it would have been the wrong way and
Right, right, right.
thank God for people in my life that didn't give up on me and gave me a shot to play at Carolina University.
Now, with that being said, you said once you got to Carolina, you really had a strong career, and you stayed there. If I'm reading this correctly, you stayed there after you finished playing as a student
Mhm.
assistant. What made you
Yep.
kind of want to stay in the game?
Well, I knew it was two ways for me. I wanted to be a part of basketball. It's either go play professionally or start my coaching career. And I was always 1 foot out, 1 foot in, because I did have a chance to play basketball in Canada. But things just, that wasn't my avenue, right? So um, I wanted to learn from the coach I played for, Clint
Okay.
Walker. He was the first coach I coached with as a student assistant, and then after that year, he left, and then Josh Howard took the reins as the head coach, and then I became the associate head there. And yeah, man, that's pretty much my history at Carolina U.
Now, how did you eventually get to? Is it SWU? Is y'all? I call it Southern Wesleyan, obviously, but
Yeah,
what do you guys
it's
call it?
Southern Wesleyan. We
I'm
nickname it
not cool
SWU.
enough. I'm not cool enough to call it SWU. But how did you
Yeah.
eventually? Because you had a few stops. How did you eventually get to SWU?
So again, from Carolina U, as a 25, 26-year-old man, I was contemplating on if I wanted to really do coaching or try to advance my career as a player still at 25, 26. So a lot of stuff was just given to me early. So I took a step back from coaching at 27, and it took me some to really hone in on that I'm gifted at. This is what God wants for me. And it took me 4 years to get to Toccoa Falls College. So I pretty much had a 4 year gap. And thankful that my guy, Dwayne Felder, gave me a shot when he became the head coach at Toccoa Falls College. And I got back into my career. And so I got to Toccoa because of Dwayne, and I was his associate head coach as well. And we made some things happen year one. We won the conference title there. That was the first time they won it in over 20 plus years at Toccoa. Um, had a National Player of the Year, All American, a few All Conference performers. So, like, we really recruited well at that level and was able to do some things there. And so, from there, I also got elevated to head coach my second year at Toccoa. Did well with that team, was nationally ranked, about top five. And every coaching carousel year, I always try to, apply
Listen,
for colleges and things of that nature. Just trying to advance in my career. And funny thing, Coach Stites called me trying to schedule a game against Toccoa Falls, and he was a new coach there at Southern Wesleyan, and he was like, "Man, I'm just going through some stuff. Just gotta find an assistant." He's just talking out loud, and I was like, "Hey, man, throw my hat in the ring. If you're looking for an assistant coach." Um, and honestly, it was a joke at the time, but I didn't know that that's this could be my reality. So, anyways, he was like, "You know what? Shoot me your resume," and then shot him my resume, and man, the rest is history, man. That's how I ended up here at Southern Wesleyan.
wow. So Southern Wesleyan obviously is D2, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, and this is just my opinion. You can disagree with me. I think D2 is the hottest commodity right now when it comes to college basketball because there's only a smaller percentage of guys who are going out of high school straight D1, and then a lot of the D1, once you prove yourself in D2, you're going D1. So that's a long-winded way to say have have you seen any changes, especially with NIL, in the way people look at D2 as opposed to the way they looked at it before? Because man, to me, it's a gold mine, but you got to be ready to play. You got to be ready. I mean, you got to do that anywhere, but to me, it's a gold mine. So talk a little bit about D2 and what changes you may or may not have seen, here in the last few years with the NIL coming.
Well, So for first, I came from NCCAA Division two. So joining the NCAA Division two was like uh, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like something that I could never imagine, right, at the time.
You love the
So
game, coach. You love
man,
the game.
I love it. I know it, man, and it's a huge difference, right? So like, the upper echelon players that's going D1, they are sure thing. They're going D1, and with NIL and things of that nature, we can't really compete with those schools. But if you come here, we all, we have athletic money and things like that to get you a full ride. But like you said, you have to be ready to play because in the Conference of the Carolinas. Um, it's a tough conference, man. It's a tough conference, and any given night, you could be the number one team in the conference, the number 18 team in the conference, and it's a dogfight every night. So, come like guys that's coming out of high school, you got to be ready to play right now, even if it's not your turn, like time this year as a freshman. But you got to come in ready, all right? Because one thing that I see a difference is just the physicality, all right, and that's like the number one thing. Like everybody can jump, everybody got skills, they can shoot, but if you don't have the physical ability to withstand this type of basketball, especially in our conference, um, you're gonna be fooled. You're gonna be fooled.
With that being said, man, I've always had an appreciation for guys who play non D1, just non D1, because
Yeah,
man, you so many times when you play D1, you start falling in love with being a basketball player and
mhm,
not playing basketball. Like when you
correct,
play D2, you better love basketball, man, because you're not going to get some of the perks um,
correct.
that D1. But that was back in the day. I'm sure it's kind of changed a little bit because the perks have changed. What do you look for, when you go into gyms right now in prospective student athletes?
Well, if I'm going in the gym and just watching them play for the first time, I want to see what type of teammate you are. I want to see the effort that you play with, because obviously I've heard something about you, right? So that's what brought me there is your talent. So yeah, I'm going to see your talent, but I'm also going to see how you treat your teammates, how you accept coaching, how you play defense, things of that nature. Just being an overall player. So that's one thing that I see when I'm going into a gym. But if I'm recruiting you, like one of the major things that we look for at Southern Wesleyan is high character guys, guys who have high GPAs, guys who are fine with being in a Christian environment at Southern Wesleyan because Southern Wesleyan is a Christian university. So that alone have to fit you for one, in order for us to continue the process of recruiting you. But high character talent, high academic. I'll say one thing on the high character part is social media is so big for these young guys. Like um, you have to clean up your social media, right? Like, because we want you to be a representation of us, but most of all, represent your family, your parents, right? That's something that you have to um, be fine with doing is representing your family in a positive light to the best of your ability, right? None of us are perfect, and I'm talking to younger guys who's looking to, get into the college world, but I'll say that's something that we really look into because we want you to be a great kid on and off the court. But if your social media is showing me different than what you're showing me in person, then it's like you 50 here and 50 there. So we want you to be 100% authentic. Just clean your social media up and be a great guy, man. Be a great guy.
Now, and that's it sounds kind of common sense, but it's not as common as you would think.
Nah, man. I couldn't tell you how many guys I had to just turn away because their social media is bad.
Oh, really? Wow. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, The landscape of college basketball, all college basketball, has really changed within the last 5 years. You really are recruiting, even though scholarships have always been like a year. You really are recruiting guys right now. It's so fluid for 1 year, and then we'll see what happens after that year. How challenging is that for you to kind of change the way you probably came up? How challenging is or was that for you?
Like the one and done type of thing where guys are just
Well,
leaving
the
after
fact
one
that
year.
well, the fact that you might sign a guy this year and he might enter the portal next year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just the nature of the beast, right? That's the nature of the beast, man. And that's just something you just got to roll with, right? But you do try to map out a future plan with guys.
Mhm.
Um, Especially if they got you want to map out a plan, coach's vision and a plan for the team. Um, they wouldn't necessarily just hop out and try to enter the portal. It's more so guys not getting their way. We've seen so many guys that played at their fifth year guys and been at three, four schools. So it's like,
Right.
what are you gonna do if you come here and we done already seen you at two or three schools? We don't even actually go for those guys because we already know if things not working out in your favor, you're just gonna hop in the portal. Um, but our plan, even this year, so I feel like we did a really good job of, getting some veteran guys and bolstering our freshman class, right? So we got some talented freshmen, man. I'm actually excited for those guys. Just to, get in the court, get on the court and just buy into a culture, a different culture that we're changing here at Southern Wesleyan. And but just to answer that question fully, man, I'll just say we just roll with the punches. I mean, because guys are going to get in their feelings if they're not getting 20 minutes or we had asked one guy. I don't mention any names, but we will ask a guy, would you rather play 20 minutes in a game or watch your team win? He chose 20 minutes, and so it's just like at times, man, you gotta find the guys who want to buy into winning, right? And the guys who buy
Right.
into winning will trust the vision, right? And then they'll trust the buy-in. They'll trust their leadership. And at the end of the day, I feel like we did a really good job retaining at least five or six of our guys. We graduated eight guys this year, so and only about two or three guys hopped in the portal. So I felt like we did pretty good.
And that says a lot about your program,
Yeah.
because the best way for people to stay is give them something that they feel comfortable with and they want to stay. Full transparency, Lost Ledman would have said, "Can I play 10 minutes and we win?" Because Lost Ledman don't like being on that bench. Lost
Yeah,
Ledman
I
don't
get it. I
like being
understand, man. I understand.
so, especially a young lost letterman.
I got you.
so,
I was the same way. I was the same way. I can't sugarcoat it.
I've left many a gym with a win, but not happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so, with that being said, you talked a little bit about it. You touched on a little bit before, but man, Conference Carolinas, man, you guys have some really good competition in that
yeah.
conference, man, between North Greenville, Francis Marion, Erskine. Talk a little bit about the conference, man, and how difficult it is each night to get a win and be consistent within that conference.
Well, the top dog right now is UNC Pembroke, right?
Right.
They're known for winning it. You got teams like Young Harris, who's in our pod, Emmanuel, who's also in our pod. Man, when I tell you it's so tough, our margin of victory this past season was -3, right? So it was three
Mhm.
possessions. It could have went either way with every team besides one team, right? But it's that tough when we're at the bottom of the conference at the time, where -3 is our margin of victory. So, like I told you earlier, any given night, you could be the number one. team in a conference, and you could be in a dogfight with the last team in a conference.
Right.
And that's every game. Like I witnessed a lot of tough games this past season, man. Like we competed and battled with some of the best teams in our conference. And it's just a dogfight every night, man.
Well, I talk to so many parents, and I would be remiss if I did not ask this question. How much do you prioritize getting out on the road and scouting South Carolina kids? And I know your whole roster can't be full of South Carolina. Parents probably want 100% of the roster to be South Carolina kids, and that just is not the case. But how much of a priority do you place on getting out on the road and scouting South Carolina kids? Because just economically, it's cheaper to for in terms of your budget to be around your school.
Correct. We prioritize it. We also go the old school way, know somebody that know a kid that's really, hooping. But far as, just standing, locally and or in the state, we try to prioritize our state first.
Yeah.
I've been out in Columbia, a couple schools here in Southern Wesleyan. I've already been to a few practices. And I try to prioritize the best I can. Like we don't have a D1 staff, so we got a couple assistants and Coach Stites, who's the head coach, man, and we try to touch each one of these states. To be honest, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and some Florida, but. Yeah, I mean, I'll say we prioritize it. We got a couple guys from South Carolina this past year, this past season, and this season coming up. And pretty much all our developmental kids are South Carolina guys. So we try to prioritize it as much as we can.
Well, we certainly are going to prioritize it on this platform and make sure everybody knows about what you guys are doing at SWU and specifically what you're doing there, Coach. So, man, but we definitely want to say thank you because I know you probably been on the road all last, for at least a good part of last month, and I know you guys got a lot of stuff in July. So I know you're pretty tired, but man, we definitely appreciate you coming on the Lost Letterman this evening, and let's stay connected and whatever we can do on this side to make sure that we not only promoting you but also promoting the program. We're definitely here for you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all having me on, and go SWU.
That's what's up, Coach. Get some rest, man.
Will do. Thank you again, and you have a great day.
Yes, sir.